Hey YouTube, welcome to another Valkyrie Connect video. My name is Hakeo, and in this video we'll be going over the Connect Battle Mage. We'll be going over her mechanics as well as some example items and units that you can use in the Connect Battle. Mage is unique due to the fact that she is an Azer, and most other Connect battles tend to be Beast or Jotun. Mage has two sets of crystals which are identical, both being light range crystals that are considered airborne and beasts. Keep that in mind since you can use certain items to increase your damage through the Connect battle. The first set of crystals, the light crystals, deals light magic damage to the nearest unit while applying a skill gauge down. It also restores 2 units with the lowest HP as well. The second set of crystals shades all heroes that are of the human, Elvetherian, and Jotun race while applying an HP restore to 2 allies with the lowest HP. Keep in mind that both of these crystals, the sets, they heal Medjed as well as the crystals themselves. That's the reason why you keep seeing Medjed heal up every single time in the Connect battle. It's not coming from Medjed herself. Medjed has an activated and auto ability. The activated ability deals light magic damage to the highest accuracy target while applying Shade as well. Keep in mind that Shade only applies to human, Elvetherian, and Jotun. On top of that damage, another light magic damage is applied to the lowest HP target, and poison is applied as well for 3 turns. The poison, same as the Shade, only applies to human, elves, Therians, and Jotun. Her auto ability deals light magic damage to all units in the Connect battle while applying Barrier Seal and Poison for 5 turns. Keep in mind that there is no race restrictions to either Barrier Seal or Poison. Next up, we'll be going over some example items that you can use in the Connect battle. We'll go over multi-target hitting items, single target hitting items, as well as armors that you can use in the Connect battle. For the multi-target hitting items, we have Grimoire of Accusation, Wicked Bow, Genocide Outfit, and Blade of the Fallen. Single target, we have Lunar Cane, Dusk, Oceanic Rod, and Bulldozer. As well as armors, we have Glimmering Armor, Crystal Armor, Glacial Cloak, and Garm's Bucket. The multi-target hitting items is pretty obvious. It's to hit Medjed as well as her crystals to get rid of them as soon as possible. The single target items, you'll notice that there is a neutral item as well as a water type item. The Lunar Cane and Dusk is Mage weakness as well as water. If you haven't noticed, both dark and water are her weakest elements at the same resistance. So you shouldn't have an issue if it's a front hitting single target water weapon. The Bulldozer hits the back but is neutral, so no resistance is applied. Glimmering Armor is pretty good since she deals light damage. Crystal Armor as well as Glacial Cloak is pretty good since it can reflect or defend against the incoming magic damage. There is another item I didn't mention, and it goes along with the Garm Bucket. You can use humans with Garm Bucket and it will allow them to resist some of the shade. It won't be 100%, but there is some resistance there. As well as a Heretic Ring to help you increase your DPS, since she is an Azer. Next up, we'll be going over some units that you can use on your team for Mage. I'll be going over the healers, tanks, and a few DPS. I try to include some unique units that you may not have thought of that works on this Connect battle. For our healers, we have Erd and Spooky Idun, as well as our tanks, we have Valkyrie and Niji. Erd is pretty obvious since she has a very high light resist, as well as her being Azer, she won't be shaded. She provides a heal over time with defensive buffs, along with her limit burst that also applies a defensive buff on your team. Spooky Idun is kind of less noticeable due to her low light resist, but with the release of her X and SP, she is more viable. You can even run a 2 healer composition for Connect battles of 7-star or higher. Valkyrie and Niji are pretty good tanks for this Connect battle due to their moderate light resist and them being dwarves. The other side to that is that they have pretty good defensive stats, and you can pretty much use them with dark weapons and they'll be able to live as well. Next up, we have Yami Thor, Brunhild, and Manny. The reason for Yami here is because you can use the Garm Bucket to have her resist some of the shade. Her ability is really good against Medjed as well as her costume X and SP. Thor can actually tank Medjed as well as wearing dark weapons to help take out the crystals and deal damage to her. Brunhild is actually really good for this Connect due to her X, SP, and her ability. They can actually hit the same target, which would be Medjed, and you'll be dealing significant damage to her. Manny is a good snipe unit which will take out the crystals very quickly, especially with her X, SP, and costume. Next up, we have Anubis, Nabi, Hel, and Momiji. For the same reasons of them being dark, which is great against Mage, Anubis and Nabi were released primarily because of Mage being released and their great units against her. Hell and Momiji, they have pretty low light resist, so you may have to put some defensive gear on them, but their ability to hit multiple targets is really great for crystal crushing. That's it pretty much for the guide. To summarize everything, you can use humans if you have the Garm bucket, and you can use Heretic Ring since Mage is an Azer. And keep in mind that she is a light connect, so you can use high light resist units to tank her while equipping dark gear. On the other spectrum, you can use dark units. You may have to put some defenses on them, but they will be able to take out the crystals quickly and to damage Mage fast as well. Keep in mind that in 8-star there is a field that's called Mist Field that will reduce the accuracy of your units by 50%. You want to use units with the Mist Field passive, or pretty much your timeout. Other than that, if you like the video, please like the video. If you like this type of content, please subscribe. If you aren't already following me on Twitter to see what I've been up to in the game as well as some Japanese side client news, I'll apply a link to the Twitter account in my description. And if you aren't already involved in the Valkyrie Connect community, I'll provide a link for the Reddit as well as the Discord in the description below as well. Until next time guys, take care.